Pharah carrying hard here right now. Holy shit. Literally killing everyone. We pulled it out at the end there, but... Easier just to go out. He just doesn't get focused. Like, not at all. It was ugly? What do you mean? The match, or... And you played this kind of well, or like way better than this on what's the map called? Reichenwalde, right? You had good patience, good ult economy management. You didn't overcommit to any team fight, and here we just kept wasting. And especially in 2CP, ult management is really important, because usually you either snowball from point A to point B and take the fight there, and then just commit fully to the fight because you're trying to snowball it. If it doesn't work and you get a reset on the team fight and you didn't end up taking the point, you need to bank ultimates. So we do a few eco pushes, means we're trying to drain ultimates from the enemy team while building up our own ultimates, that we have an ult advantage here going in. Who ideally calls out the focus? Does it come down to 1 or 2 characters? No. It's you're 6 members, right? 1 member is your shot caller. Shot caller is ideally the main support, because he has the least to do mechanically and has the best overview, because he's mostly sitting in the either with the Pharah up in the sky or behind the tanks. So you got the best overview. Now DPS are feeding information to the shot caller who's flanking, right? The flanks are often being called out by DPS because they are flanking as well most of the time, right? Tanks, right? So flanks contribute to the shot caller calling out targets. So for example, if Tracer is flanking and McCree is in the range, you just say focus to Tracer. Or Lucio is overextending, then you call Lucio, right? So next up, tanks. Right? Tanks call engagements. The main tank usually calls the engagements. So tanks are responsible for the engagements. Right? Engage. And I'm just gonna do like this. Engagement and disengagement. This is sort of the job for the main tank. Right? You can put this on the main healer as well. But to make it a bit easier for you, I would originally just put it on the tanks. The tank, when to go in, when to go out, right? But like main support can do the... So I will actually say no, scratch that. Disengagement, main healer probably, because he should be the last one alive anyway. Holds the disengagement, while tanks call the engagement. And then your shot caller basically gets information. Who is where, when overextending, who's won. So everyone needs to talk, right? But like effective talk, right? So when someone is low, then we call it out, and then it is up to the shot caller if we focus that target. And we just need to build up synergy, right? For example, if Jester sees the enemy D.Va being really low, and Max is hitting the Pharah pretty low, it's up to Pfeffy to decide, do we go for the Pharah or do we go for the D.Va first? So you just demag the D.Va, then you go for the Pharah, right? For example. Or Gendon is flanking, sees the Tracer. The Tracer is not really in the fight, so it doesn't really matter. So Pfeffy can still kind of say what is happening on the point, right? So let's say Gendon gives the information Tracer's flanking, then Gendon will probably deal with the Tracer, and then Jester says D.Va is low, Max says Pharah is low. So we go for the D.Va here, afterwards for the Pharah. We still keep in mind that the Tracer is about to flank us, and so on and so on. So Mark is calling the engagements, Pfeffy is calling the focus, but everyone needs to contribute information. that Ferfi can process those information and put it in the shot calling. Staying focused, yeah, you just gotta grind it out. No way around. Like, it's not gonna happen overnight that you become the gods and enter Overwatch League, right? It's a very hard commitment. Yeah, well, I'm not done yet. There are more jobs to distribute here. You also need to have someone that keeps track of the enemy ultimates. Ideally, also the main healer or the off healer. Probably the main healer. So like, like the main healer basically sees the best who is getting focused a lot, right? So if, for example, Mark is feeding the D.Va, then Ferfi knows, D.Va might have ultimate, right? Because they needed to heal Mark quite a lot against the D.Va, so we gave D.Va pretty much free ult charge. Or like Pharah hit a huge amount of rockets into Jester. Jester really dropped low, and we had to heal Jester, so Pharah is about to have a barrage problem, right? We've got to keep that in mind as well, and then call out who has ultimates for the upcoming fight. And then we talk about what in the downtime of the fight, like you play Overwatch all of the time, right? You don't just play Overwatch during the team fight. You play it when you're playing as a team all of the time. So in the downtime of the fights, you think about the strategy. Let's say Pharah has ultimate. We got to play around the fact that Pharah has ultimate. So we need to keep watching out. So Jester knows Pharah has ultimate. I got to sit on the Pharah the whole time. I need to chase her. I need to be able to defense matrix her immediately when she drops the barrage. Or like Reinhardt has Shatter. So Mark knows, okay, I have to save my bubble for the Shatter to block it. Right? There was a lot of talking. Jesus. I hope it all makes sense to you. Right? Hey, Alni, welcome back, man. Ooh, that was a lot of talking in one go. Didn't even breathe, I believe. Alright, so I'm just gonna call, like, upcoming ultimates is usually target calling. It's target calling because you want to focus the people that actually got ultimates, right? So you're gonna have a target caller, you're gonna have a shot caller that dictates during the fight who we focus. We have someone that calls the engagements, usually the main tank. But everybody needs to basically feed the shot caller and the target caller with information. Alright. We're going to go back and the entire team to watch this again and again. Who's the target caller again? That's up to you. You can do that. Because you probably have the best overview. But like, you need to heal the people, right? So you know who's feeding a lot and who are they feeding. Because you're not just healing the Winston, but you see that the Winston got damage from the D.Va, right? So you know D.Va damaged the Winston, so D.Va probably got a lot of ult charge for the bomb. Like target calling, shot calling, all pretty much dependent on the main healer. Because let's be honest, main healer is not like the most brain power required job here in Overwatch, right? So like Pharah has to worry about hitting her shots and setting up the barrage, then the Lucio has to also speed boost and heal the whole time, kind of move the people around. D.Va has to peel for the supports, D.Va has to peel for the tank, D.Va has to deal with the Pharah, Tracer has to flank all of the time, so target was a shot caller. Is target caller... No. Target caller is the one that calls out the targets for the upcoming fight. Target caller is the guy that keeps track of the enemy ultimates. So let's say Pharah got barrage, so the target caller says Pharah got barrage. So then the shot caller, if it's not the same person, well, it should be the same person, ideally, knows, okay, Pharah needs to get pressured. D.Va knows, because of the target calling, that Pharah got barrage, and we need to sit on that Pharah. Alright. Shot caller is the D.Va guy. Need some water. Weiser, don't fail me.
Last time we did this, we got pretty hard because we let them get it. So make sure, guys, when you dive in, we're focusing back on getting.
Oh, that's... D.Va engages after the Winston. That's just suicide. Like, D.Va just completely fed there. Look at how fast she's getting melted. And because the D.Va died, the monkey will most likely die next. Yep, there you go. And next up is the Lucio. Yeah, that's proper target calling, shot calling from the enemy team there. Ah, there we go. Jester, stop throwing. That was way too early. So ideally what we should have been doing is we set both tanks up here, right? So they can jump on the high ground if needed. Or if Reinhardt, like basically what you do if you play Winston D.Va is you either sit on the high ground and zap the enemy, right? And shoot the enemy because Reinhardt can't really do much here, right? Or we like let the Reinhardt engage, right? So let's say Reinhardt pushed until this point and you just kept backing off while still contesting the point. At one point you're just gonna say, Reinhardt, fuck off, we're gonna jump your backline. And then we focused on the backline with leaving Reinhardt. Like, he can't do something about that. He can charge us, but it's like a really long distance, right? So we can just move. And he can't charge us then. We didn't really play in death ball. I mean, we just dived into their death ball, basically.
Yeah, you can go Zen, but I mean, everybody else can stay with
It's like what Jester did is sort of the same thing with just diving into full pool of sharps without putting his security suit on first. Wow, whatever that is called. You know what I mean, right? Something that protects him from the... what is it called when you actually let down the cage? Shark diving? Called like that? When you sit in the cage and the sharks just surround you? Any tips on tank synergy? Winston jumps in first, D.Va follows up. Synergy, hard to get. Pretty much depends on the enemy team as well, like how they approach, because sometimes the D.Va needs to appeal more for the support if the supports are getting pressured a lot more, so the monkey needs to know that he needs to play more defensively, or if they don't pressure the supports at all, then you can go in pretty hard. Wait, what did I want to say? You basically, like, D.Va and Winston need to decide. If they play defensively, means the Winston can't leap in that far, but he just kind of tries to build the front line, while D.Va appeals a lot for the supports. That's playing defensively, right? Playing aggressively means Winston, D.Va just going in full nuts, diving, killing, getting out. It's dependent on the enemy team if you need to play defensively and offensively. That you need to be this coach. This would be so good. What do you mean, Mia? I guess with Mark calling all engagements is easier for Juster to follow. Yeah, probably.
In this case, we can't dive their background before they get
You need to coach one of these teams mid-game. Isn't that just confusing them a lot?
Just because of that, they'll be able to, it'll cause some problems for them.
It would confuse me if someone is constantly talking over my gameplay and would just tell them to fuck off.
Alright, back to main. Back to main.
They're saving for something. No, I'm
Wouldn't be good for outcomes, yeah, exactly.
Green McCree. Right.
Sparrows up top.
And also computing this information like in real time, it's a lot to ask for. Don't think I have enough brain power to compute that. Gotta keep in mind that I'm very boosted. Did we go into hard again? Yeah, Winston trying to chase down the Faraday. You gotta back out. Jester's going in hard again. Don't drop. Jester, if you go in this hard, you need to stay on the high ground here. You can't just drop in on them. You have no way of getting out because you just use your boosters to engage there. We're getting demeked here, yeah. Getting the rest there. Again, we engaged a bit too early. We got punished for lucky they didn't get a tick because they have no shot calling again. So then tell this guy to fuck up. Why do they have a coach if you should leave? You can't coach people mid-game. Like, there's so much going on in this game and then you have someone constantly talking about what you should be doing, meanwhile you're trying to do something else. This is like a team. The team is a unit, right? The team is a unit. And the coach just gives them informations before and after the games. And just feeds this unit with external knowledge, basically. But he's trying so why? You're confusing a shot call as a coach? Yeah, what do you... Yes, I... Mia's booster. Oh boy. I actually fucked up there.
Top left.
Gendon going in a bit too aggressive there, overextending a lot. You're lucky you got a D.Va on the D.Va there. Okay, that car. On my way to Bronx. Good luck, man. You can do it, I believe in you. Why do you fight so early here? Look at the engagement. Okay, Winston, good position there, good position. Dropping on them there. Okay, we forced our trends. Now we're in a pretty bad position. Now D.Va getting demeked again, right? Forced to use the D.Va ultimate. Okay, actually, huge ultimate. Now we just need to, okay. Oh, Max, what a wasted barrage there. You won the team fight already. Why did you waste a barrage there? You committed 3 ultimates to this fight. And you got only trends. Oh, okay, you gained 3 ults from them as well. That's more on them. Shouldn't have used the barrage there. Max throwing? Actually. Well, Gendon's throwing to begin with. And then everyone followed Gendon suiciding there. And D.Va suicided almost as well. Had to use her ultimate. We could have just play it more passively on defense for now. Like, don't use too much ultimates for every push. If we don't throw, how do we get the ball? True. If you weren't throwing, what was my job? What would my job be, right?
Oh, that was clutch.
Thank you for throwing.